It's not drinking alone if random people on the internet are watching you, right? So anyhow, let's talk technology in the deer woods. And I'm just going to say a bunch of stuff. And while I'm doing that, I want you to think about where you draw the line and what you think is ethical. And at the end, I don't know. I don't really have a fully formulated thought, but I think I'll try to say what I think. Trying something a little new here. But so let's just say you go scout a piece of public ground and you find a nice bedding area, a bunch of nice buck sign in it, and you go back and you hunt that the following year. Okay, that's one scenario. Next scenario is you scouted that same piece and you decide to leave a trail camera on that where coming off the point of the bedding area. Now you check that camera. Maybe you check it halfway through the season and see that there's a nice buck on there in that piece. Or maybe you don't. Maybe you just let it soak all year and you check that camera later and you see that there's a nice buck on there. All right. Now that same piece of property, that same bedding point, instead of having just a regular trail camera there, you put a cell camera on. So now you're sitting there and you're at work and your phone goes off and you see that you got a big buck there. Like, okay, well, maybe you're going to hunt it that afternoon, but regardless of maybe it's up north and you can't get to it, maybe it's local, who knows, who's to say, but you know in real time that it was there without ever going into that piece of woods and setting it up. So you're using technology regardless. Here's another thing, and there's no way that it's not getting done. I thought of it the other day when I was watching a YouTube video. It was I think the name of the channel is Drone Deer Recovery, and it's these guys that retrieve deer with thermal drones, which are, don't get me wrong, man, it's cool, it's badass, but they're showing all those videos of them flying through the woods and just randomly picking out live deer that are in the woods. Okay, now let's just say you are, instead of scouting that piece of property that you walked and found the bedding area, let's just say you got one of those thermal drones and you fly that thing around and you see all these heat signatures and you zoom in on one at a time and you're like, oh, there's a nice buck, he's bedded right there. Maybe you go back and you hunt that piece of property a week later, or maybe that was in the off season and now you're in the season but you know for 100% fact exactly where that buck was bedding, and you know the wind conditions of when he did it, and it's not just a theory that you saw on a Dan Infalt video or something like that where it's a theory you're putting into practice. It's something that you know 100% that you saw that deer in that spot. Where do you draw the line? And is there really a big difference between that and having a cell camera that told you 100% that there was a deer there that day? To me, a drone just feels super dirty. And I can guarantee you that if I've thought of it, the guys that are real cheaters, it's got to already be getting done. Guaranteed that somebody that's trying to kill the biggest buck in the world, they're looking for him that way, finding them that way. And I would not be surprised if eventually somebody gets caught killing one. If you can go through the woods, just imagine you got a farm that's yours, Let's just say you got a 500-acre farm out in hill country and you fly a thermal drone around and you go, oh, there's a giant buck bedded on that point right there, right now, middle of the day. And then you go up and set up on it on the afternoon on the leeward side of that point. I mean, I would never want to kill a deer that way, but there's people that would do it, and damn sure they would. Just the idea of thermal drones, though, what gets me really excited, what I would love to do is someday they'll be cheap enough, everybody's going to have them. But right now, just the thought of, like, you watch the video, like the Dan Infalt videos on buck bedding and stuff like that, it would be so cool to be able to take a thermal drone out and go in pressured areas and find all the big bucks and be able to physically go, okay, there's a giant buck in this bed right here today. And then go into that spot and see what the conditions are and just get to like 100% know that a giant was there today, and then be in that spot and observe it and look around. Just imagine how much you could learn just, being positive. Like there's no theory to that whatsoever. There was a giant here, you walk in there, you check it out. Oh, this is why it was here. And if you could do that 100 times, like just know 100% I just kicked them out, and then even be able to watch them leave. That'd be another thing that would be super interesting is, hey, I'm coming in, I'm kicking this deer out. What is he doing? How far away is he traveling? Is he J-hooking after? Is he stopping? Is he watching me? How far did he go? Did he go into the next piece of cover, or did he just wait for me to pass and come back and go to his original bed? Like there's so much that can be learned, and another thing is like GPS studies. GPS studies are cool, but I mean, just think about how much more information you can get in real time and learn just through something like that. Just something to think about. Now, I told you that I would kind of tell you what I think about it at the end. Rex, dude, I'm trying to film a video. You got to be chomping away. So I would, like I said, what I would love to do, if I could team up with somebody that had a thermal drone and go see those areas, that would be awesome. I'd love to do that so I could know what those areas feel like 100% know what they feel like without a doubt. But could I in good conscience go back and like hunt those exact same beds or bedding areas after doing that? I would not want to. I just wouldn't feel right about it personally. I don't know what your thoughts on it. I'd be curious if you got thoughts on it, if you want to leave a comment on what you think that would be. I am genuinely curious, where you draw the line between that, cell cameras, and don't get me wrong, I run some cell cameras. I run regular trail cameras. I run soaker cameras that I don't check all year long. I run regular cameras that I might check once or twice during the season. And then I run some cell cams. And if I see a giant buck on cell cam, I'm going to go hunt not that camera, but that general area where that deer was. And I don't really feel the greatest about it, but I haven't killed one that way yet either, so I don't have to really feel too guilty about it. But I did get some nice bucks on a cell camera, went and hunted like 150 yards from that cell camera while I was in the stand, got a picture of a good buck on that cell camera, and then maybe 25, 30 minutes, had that deer underneath of me. And I ultimately didn't shoot him because he wasn't quite big enough. Plus, I didn't really have the greatest shot on him because he was just in too tight. But yeah, so tell me what you guys think. I'm genuinely curious.